Shall I read the shloka?
Yeah, go ahead, Niranjan.
So I'm reading the shloka, Bhagavad Gita 3.37 shloka. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Bhagavanuvacha
Kama Esha Krodha Esha
Kama Esha
Kamayesha
Krodha
Krodha
Esha
Esha
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Rajo
Rajo
Guna
Guna
Samudravaha
Samudbhavaha
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Rajo
Rajo
Guna
Guna
Samuddravaha
Samudbhavaha
Mahasano Mahapapma
Mahashano Mahapatma
Mahapatma
Mahashano Mahapapma
Mahashano Mahapatma
Vidheyenam iha vairinam
Videne Videnamiha
Videya
Vairenam
enam
Videyenam
Vinam
iha
Iha
vairinam
Vairanam
iha vairinam
Vairinam
Iha Vairinam
Sri Bhagavanuvacha
Sri
Shri
Bhagavanavacha
Bhagavanuvacha
Kama Esha Krodha Esha
Kama
Kama
Esha
Esha
Krodha
Krodha
Esha
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Rajo
Rajo
Guna
Guna Samudbhava
Samudbhavaha
Mahashano Mahapapma
Mahashano Mahapapma
Vidheyenam iha vairinam
Vidinam
Vidinam
Iha Vairinam
Vairinam
Very nice. Anybody wants to try?
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Kama Esha Krodha Esha
Kama Esha Krodha Esha
Esha
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Rajo Guna
Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha
Samudbhavaha
Mahashano
Mahapapma
Mahapapma
Mahashano
Mahashano
Mahapapma
Mahapapma
Vidiyenam Iha Vairinam
Vidheyenam
Vidiyenam
iha
Iha
vairinam.
Vairinam
So synonyms, um, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the personality
Hmm,
of Godhead said,
hmm,
Kamaha, lust,
hmm.
Eshaha, this, Krodaha, the wrath, Eshaha, this, Raja Guna, the mode of passion, Samudbhavaha, born of, Maha Asanaha, all devouring, Mahapapma, greatly sinful, Vidhi, no, Enam, this, Iha, in the material world, Vairinam, greatest enemy. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world. Purport, somebody wants to read.
Purport: when a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust. In association with the mode of passion, or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust. As milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion, and illusion continues the material existence. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If therefore the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment.
It is pronounced as Roth. Okay,
Wrath,
Roth.
wrath, okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expanded himself into many for his ever increasing spiritual bliss, and the living entities are parts and parcels of this spiritual bliss. They also have partial independence, but by misuse of their independence, when the service attitude is transformed into the propensity for sense enjoyment, they come under the sway of lust. This material creation is created by the Lord to give facility to the conditioned souls to fulfill these lustful propensities. And when completely baffled by prolonged lustful activities, the living entities begin to inquire about their real position. Okay, Anand or Niru, go ahead with your, it is still there. One more paragraph.
Hello, Madhu. I can't hear your voice. Others can hear Madhu's voice.
Hello.
I'm able to hear Madhu's voice. Hello?
Yes, the third paragraph.
Yeah.
This inquiry is the beginning of the Vedanta Shastras, Vedanta Sutras, wherein it is said, Atahato Brahma Jignasaha. One should inquire into the Supreme, and the Supreme is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam as Janmadi Asya Hatoho. Janmadi Asya Atoho. Nyavat. Can anyone help me out in this pronouncing this word?
Janmadi asya yato anvayad. Anvayad itaratas cha.
Thank you. The origin of everything is the Supreme Brahman. Therefore, the origin of lust is also in the Supreme. If therefore lust is transformed into love for the Supreme, or transformed into Krishna consciousness, or in other words, desiring everything for Krishna, then both lust and wrath can be spiritualized. Hanuman, the great servitor of Lord Rama, exhibited his wrath by burning the golden city of Ravana, but by doing so, he became the greatest devotee of the Lord. Here also in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord induces Arjuna to engage his wrath upon his enemies for the satisfaction of the Lord. Therefore, lust and wrath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, become our friends instead of our enemies.
on this shloka, Bhagavad Gita 3.37, which we are doing today. This will be one of our last important shloka of the 108 shlokas which we are working towards in the third chapter. The third chapter is the Karma Yoga chapter. Now, finally, when we are looking into this particular shloka is telling us a method, a methodology, a way forward of how things can be converted from one form to another. Number one, from example, from love towards lust, from lust towards wrath. Wrath is the extreme form of anger which is existing, and in this wrath a person forgets what he is doing. He will be no more intelligent. All his senses are not in his conscious control. So what this particular shloka is telling us is this important message, that Lord here is being so merciful in giving the original self of love, allowing the person to be involving in the material aspects, and then again realizing back that it is not these material aspects that he is longing for, but it is the pure love, which his original self is in the form of love. Example, if we take it a very simple example, say for example, when I am young, मैं अपने जवानी में हूँ, for example 18, 19, 20, or even in teens, for example, I am passionately in love with a girl. What is it that I'm looking at that? Because my innate nature as a male is to look for a beautiful female naturally. But of course, today we are talking in the other ways also, irrespective of being gender. So there is this attraction which is there. Now, this attraction, when it is increasing to the next level, to the, say, for example, now I have an attraction of a point of, say, 5. This point scale, if I increase it to, say, for example, now 7, say 70%, I am increasing it to, say, 80%. So what is happening? The proportion of this attraction is increasing. When this attraction is increasing, what it is converting over a period of time is to possess it. The lust qualifies is it wants to possess it. Therefore, there is an element of passion that is involved. So the passion which is there can be a positive passion or a negative passion. If my passion is positive, this particular person, the young chap, will go and then make a proposal to this girl, I would love to marry you. If the passion is negative, this young fellow is going to go and then fall on that other person, and then it involves in a very bad situation called as the rape, for example. So the passion can be of two types, positive or negative. Initially, though, this young person might realize that it is lust. But over a period of time, when these two people are growing together, they are spending their time together, they grow from being old, now young, very young and dynamic, energetic, and they want to experience the material flesh of their body. They experience every sensual activity. But as the time progresses forward and forward, when this particular flesh is not able to support in terms of the material body for their sensual pleasures, then slowly over a period of time they will realize that it is not this sensual aspect which is important or which is binding them. It is the love, the pure love, that is binding them. The sensual aspect of it is only transient. It is for a temporary time of a period when we are too much involved into the material aspect. But the same thing, if this person who, if I'll take male as an example, because we are all taking as males here, if this particular person is in his 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. And then he's still looking for more and more women in his life. For example, he's highly attached to the materialistic world. Manamemantam vani, what will we call him? We will call him Kamandhudu. వాడికి అరే ఒక అమ్మాయి చూసింది అని అంటే వాడు ఆపుకోలేడు, నిల్చుకోలేడు, వాడు కామాంధుడు. హీ ఈస్ టోటలీ లాస్ట్ హిస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. హీ డజంట్ నో హౌ టు డిఫరెన్షియేట్. హీ డజంట్ నో టు హౌ టు రెస్పెక్ట్ హిస్ బాడీ. He doesn't know how to respect the time in which he is spending at that moment. He has lost all the contacts with himself. So therefore, in this particular shloka, it clearly says that kamaha, which is lust, this is the one which is all devouring. It will eat away all our senses, means it will eat away all our intelligence. It will not allow us to explore any other activity. We will be completely consumed through flames of this passion negatively. We'll be so consumed in the negative passion that we will forget that there is an element of pure love, which is my original nature, which is existing in me. I will forget about everything, because this particular person, again I'd like to bring to our notice that we are forgetting that we are material body. We forget that we are a atman, and then we forget that there is an underlying controller. The root cause for all these things is the negative passionate lust. The same fire, అందుకనే దీన్ని మనము కామాగ్ని అంటాము. కామాగ్ని, the fire of lust, it burns, it consumes us. The same thing, if I convert into premagni, if I can convert, the only way to convert that is through jnanagni. It is called as the jnana puritamaina oka agni, because the word agni has got the value of illuminating things, of giving us light and heat towards knowing things. It dispels the ignorance. It throws the light. Like last time we had discussed the example of saying that in the darkness we find the rope also as a snake. But when the light, a simple small matchstick or a simple light, when it comes in the form of a candle or any form of a light, a diya, immediately we see that this is not a snake, but this is a rope, and we become knowledgeable about it. All our fears are lost at that moment. Now, same is the case when we take, say, for example, the rath which is happening in us. This rath is happening when I am not getting the object of my desire. I am desiring for a woman. I'm proposed to her. She is not accepting, for example. I become wrathful. I become angry about it. I would sometimes, the people go and then, slit off the neck of that female, or they throw the acid on them. That's the wrath. That's the wrath. They have lost their self balance. They are consumed by the flame of lust. They do not know their actions, what they are performing. Same is the case in business. When my business is not running, for example, and then there is another person who is able to give you a good quotation for a particular price, and if you're highly competitive, this particular business person will go to any extent in devouring the other person's life or lifestyle. He has lost his balance. He will not be able to let it go in his life. He will be so consumed by the negative passion of his entire wrath, which he is showing in the form of anger, extreme anger, where he has lost his balance, he has lost his intelligence, he has lost his original self of loving, doing the business in the proper way, in the right sense, with business ethics. He has lost it. He's not able to do it. This is what is a very dangerous cycle. It is a very vicious cycle which keeps on going continuously without our knowledge. Therefore, it is our greatest enemy, because we are not knowing that we are in an infinite loop of continuously doing the lustful, negatively passionate activities, which is consuming us totally. Therefore, lust is becoming our greatest enemy, whether it is in our personal life or in our corporate life or professional life or even in our spiritual life. There are some people who, for example, out of ignorance, they will say they are so attached to a form, they are so attached to a name that they become lustful about that particular name, about that particular form, and then they will not be able to see the rest of the other things as the pure Parabrahman. They are not able to see it. But these people are not so dangerous, but when they are not able to express this to the other person, there is an anger which comes in that person. It consumes him or her. It consumes him or her, and it will not allow him to make a progress to the next higher level of becoming closer to that pure, loving consciousness, Satchit Ananda, Parabrahma Swarupa. That even if he's a spiritual person, he will not be able to be or experience that kind of a connection with the super Godhead or the supreme Godhead. He will not be able to have that kind of a connection. Instead, what this person sees, like for example, when Annamaya has written so many kirtanas on Balaji, the other Agrahara people there were so consumed by their anger that they have taken all the shlokas and then put it into fire. They are the Brahmanas. They are knowledgeable people. They are having command on the Vedas. They have the command on the Upanishads. They have all the knowledge, which is so called as the knowledge. From their perspective, I'm talking now, because they are not able to know how to balance, how to love. They are not knowing that they are consumed by their negative passion of lust for the self identification of their egos not being satisfied. See? So therefore, this lust becomes extremely dangerous, and it is one of our greatest enemies, because it will not allow us to sleep. It will not allow us to do a work. It will not allow us to have proper food. It will not allow us to have proper relationships with our next immediate person, even our well-wishers. We will not be able to take the well-wishers inputs as well. We become ignorant ignorant, that consumed by that kind of a passion, which kills us at the end. But when we look at the other flip side of this entire thing, if we are able to love the person, that's what the Bhagavad Gita here says, that there are these are all the sinful activities. All these things are sinful activities. But the moment I am able to connect back of these Arishad Vargas, minimizing all my Arishad Vargas. Here, actually, there is a classical example which I would like to share. This is that of our own human body. Our own human body, when I'm looking at it, I am here like in this body as a rented body in this particular body, because I'm going to leave it. At any moment, it can happen. It can happen today, tomorrow, or at a period of time when my body is not able to support the Atman to connect it. My spirit soul will leave this body and then go. So therefore, this body is like a rented house for me, which is called as therefore, this body is called as the Gruha, a house, a home. Now, this body, like we have discussed previously, is made of material things. It is made out of the Panchendriyas or Panchamahabhutas. It is made out of the Panchamahabhutas in various proportions. When my original Atman is coming into this Panchamahabhutas, it recognizes love. The original self of this Atman is Sat Chit Ananda, Prema Swarupa. So the moment it is getting connected and coming into this body, there is a mixture of the Atman happening with the material propensity. My material body is naturally influenced with the different gunas, which includes sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, very naturally, which is dominating my being. Means I am inside, but I'm not having any kind of a control. So God has given us an option. He, the Parabrahman, has given us an option of a willpower. Our chit, it is called as the chit shakti. That is the key thing we have to work with. It is called as the willpower. If I do not exercise my willpower, my desire, my positive passion in identifying a right guru, if I am not able to exercise my willpower, my chit shakti, my kind of passion in identifying what are the do's and don'ts, such that I will be loving the Parabrahman always, my body, the material body, will dominate, because it is its nature to influence the Atman initially. It is this way. But with the grace of the Guru, the qualified Gurus, and with the grace of the Supreme Parabrahman himself, we will be able to have that kind of a control through Nigraha Shakti. We must have the kind of willpower to sustain and overcome all these Arishad Vargas. The king of these Arishad Vargas is the Kama. Kama is an extreme attachment, which is lust. That is the king of the Arishad Vargas, followed by the other corollary things, which are the next five Arishad Vargas: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madha, Matsarya. In that angle, it is going. So, what Lord is suggesting here is to identify each and every activity whenever we are performing, whether I am performing with negative passion, converting my love, a pure love, into lust, or am I continuing with my positive passion, being in love and doing my activities with the other person, such kind of an activities where I would expect the other person to do those actions with me. Am I able to love that person? Because in nature, I want to love everybody. But am I able to offer that love, that kind of a rendering of a service to the other person or not? Because I like to receive love. I like to receive services. Am I offering love? Am I offering services to the other person? Am I able to see? Because Param Brahman is present everywhere. If he is present in me, am I able to see the Parabrahma Tattvam in the other person? Whether he is a businessman, whether he is a corporate employee, whether he is a spiritual leader of or a spiritual person of a different God. For example, he might be giving any other name. Am I able to see the other person also, how passionately, how positively he is rendering his love and service? Am I able to do that? If I am not able to do that, I will be consumed with my lust, with my anger, and I will lose my intelligence. I will not be able to have a kind of balanced mind. I will not be able to see and experience and feel the great love and compassion that the Supreme Parabrahman is offering to me on a moment to moment basis. So, this, when we are able to fight our Arishad Vargas, which are there within my body, who are my greatest enemies, the Supreme Lord becomes so happy. He blesses us, because now I am in the Kurukshetra of my own body. I am fighting against the enemies, the toughest enemies which are present within me. Forget about the world outside. I am now fighting with the enemies which are there within me. Forget about my own house. Forget about my own society. Forget about whether it is my company or any other place. Am I fighting with these tough enemies within my body, which is in my control? At least this particular body where I am living in is in my control or not? Am I winning it or not? If I am able to do that, Lord Supreme Parabrahman loves the most, because that is the beauty about the pure Parabrahma, Paramano, the Anu, the small Atman which is there within us. And the first step for that is to become a Jignasu, means we have to become curious about the Parabrahma Swarupam, the origin of everything. We have to try to understand the Swarupa of Parabrahma. The moment we start asking such kind of questions, we will be able to win these enemies in our body, which are these lust, kama, krodha, our anger, lobha, greediness, moha, madha, matsaryam. So in those angles, this is what Lord Brahm, this shloka of 3.37 is offering us. It is clearly telling us to identify what each of our activities, whether it is being performed through lust, is it a positive passion or is it a negative passion? Are we asking the right questions or not in terms of identifying the Supreme Parabrahman? Are we asking the right set of questions in every instance of our awareness? Am I taking steps? What are the steps? What are the actions that I am doing to overcome or to fight with these great enemy? What are the steps that we are taking? Am I going out and then trying to identifying the right knowledge? Am I seeking from where I can get this knowledge? Can I get it through the literature? Can I get it in the form of a person? Can I get it in the form of a friend? Can I get it in the form of a satsang? Can I get it from a guru? Can I get it from Parabrahma himself? What are the actions that I am doing moment by moment basis in each of those things? The moment we do that, the entire thing converts from being an enemy. Now the lust becomes love. The greed becomes the offering. You see? Then the next one, the moha, the attachment becomes not only for me, it becomes a detachable thing. We start being in a position of offering ourselves, our things, our material things, our spiritual things, our entire being to the benefit of the society, to the benefit of the nature, to the benefit of the Parabrahman. We are no more ourselves. That is the action call that this shloka 3.37 is offering to us. With this, I stop my comments. Thank you.
Nice, Niranjan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice, Anand and Niru. Very well explained.
Yeah, so actually this is a very important shloka manakidi endukante it calls for an action. This particular thing calls for an action. ప్రతి మూమెంట్ బై మూమెంట్ నేను బిజినెస్ చేస్తున్నానా, లేకపోతే నేను కంపెనీలో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నానా, లేకపోతే నేను నా ఇంట్లోలతో ట్రీట్ చేస్తున్నానా, or am I treating with other people? Because this is not just for people who are there in the materialistic world. This is also for the people who are there in the religious world and in the spiritual world. If we do not exercise these kind of things, there is no meaning in saying that we are religious or spiritual. There is no meaning in saying it. So therefore the shloka of 3.37 is very important if you want to make a progress to be the to bring the best version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves. If you want to bring that, this shloka is important. We have to remember it.
last the thing, the lust and the wrath into the
Into the love.
conversion of the lust and wrath into the Krishna consciousness. The
Yeah.
last
Satish?
part of the.
Ah,
I want to please elaborate on that. Na? How is that the last paragraph of that
I'm
part of
going
that?
to share this screen once again.
The last one, absolute last.
Okay. So here it is saying,
Huh.
this is the one, right? You're talking about.
To engage his wrath upon his enemies for the how can I
Therefore,
engage my
lust and
wrath and
wrath.
lust into take satisfaction by harming anybody? Yeah?
No. That's what we have to.
Please clarify me that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. So
please
what
clarify.
it is
Yeah.
saying here is like this. Therefore,
Hmm.
lust and wrath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, become our friends instead of our enemies. So the
And the line.
lust, I'm the line. Correct. This is a very important line. Therefore, when is this lust? That's the reason I'm saying lust by itself is not wrong. When lust is associated with a positive passion, lust means attachment. We must understand lust means attachment.
Okay.
The moment the lust is in the positive form with a passion, for example, I have this passion for helping towards the society. मेरा बाजू का आदमी एक नीचे गिर रहा, उसको खाने के लिए खाना नहीं है. For example, I am very passionate about offering things to him. For example, you see, what is the wrath there? It is an anger. साला कोई भी इसको हेल्प नहीं कर रहा, मैं भी हेल्प नहीं कर रहा हूं, क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? That is the anger. That is the wrath. Now the entire passion and wrath has converted into positive frame. The moment that happens. Now, for example, within my body, I am not able to control my lust. साला मैं जाके porn देखना ही देखना चाह रहा हूं. I am going to, how am I going to use that anger within me to control it? That kind of a passion do I have. The moment I am fighting against such kind of Arishad Vargas, it becomes, it is from the Kamagni, Premagni is being Ujjvalam, means it illuminates the fire of love, pure love. Now this love doesn't burn you, whereas the lust burns you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The lust burns you. Love is also a fire, but this burning really doesn't burn. It lights up the entire environment. So when we are employing this towards Krishna consciousness or towards the Parabrahma consciousness, these two things are becoming my friends. In fact, they are my arsenal.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Subtle way. Yeah. Okay.
They are my arsenal.
Subtle. Yeah.
वो मेरा पूरा ammunition बनेगा, पूरा का पूरा ammunition बनता है.
Yeah.
This particular shloka is so important. We must not just take it at the superficial level of this shloka. We cannot afford to take it. It is not just about producing progeny, or it is not about that particular aspect. I would definitely differ in that point. Of course, as per the pointers, yes, because it is giving a perspective on certain things. It is giving a kind of a scope, and then saying that probably we want to follow this particular thing, use it. Tantra also talks about the same thing, where but here, even when we are the conjugal bliss, for example, if we are able to experience pure love during conjugal bliss, and then we are able to remember the Parabrahman, it is no more lust.
Yes, correct.
There's no more lust. So we must understand how to convert that lust into love. That's the key. That is the key. So we must understand that this lust can be converted into love when we are able to control our Arishad Vargas.
Okay. Yeah.
We are not able to control the Arishad Vargas, the lust will never be converted into love. It will remain lust. And uska propensity itna strong hai, it will pull us every time. I would think that I would have mastered, converting lust to love.